breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. This is The Daily Ledger, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Alrighty, we got some stories for you today, so let's just go ahead and dive in. Let's get that share screen going. Okay. So, looks like Mr. Zohran Mamdani won in New York. Really to nobody's surprise, if we're being honest. I think he was ahead in the polls, and frankly, all of my group chats were blowing up about voting for Zohran. So yeah, there's quite a bit of push from Gen Z to get that dude elected in New York. So per the Financial Times, Democrats' electoral sweep deals blow to Trump. Zohran Mamdani wins New York and Republicans defeated in New Jersey and Virginia. Well, I mean, there wasn't really anyone else on the ticket. Curtis Sliwa isn't going to win New York. He had 9% of the vote. But anyways, so reading this first paragraph here, Zohran Mamdani, a Democratic socialist who seized on discontent with the high cost of living, was elected New York City mayor on Tuesday as Democrats swept elections across the U.S. in a rebuke to Donald Trump and his Republican Party. Okay. Yeah, so that's the Financial Times' take on that. The Wall Street Journal has this opinion article here, I guess by the editorial board. Zohran Mamdani captures New York. If he governs as a leftist, you may find that capital and people are mobile. Okay. Zohran Mamdani won his race for mayor on Tuesday, and once it closed, the people have spoken for better or for worse, and his voters are willing to take a risk on his radicalism in the name of change. We'll soon learn if the 34-year-old assemblyman has a pragmatic streak or sees his mission as making the city that never sleeps a socialist lab experiment. Yeah. I just have to say, I'll say this. What I thought was really dumb was the New York Times in the past week suddenly, quote unquote, turning against Zohran Mamdani. I'm not a Zohran Mamdani fan or supporter. But I will say this. The New York Times, when they took a stance against Zohran Mamdani last week, by saying like, oh, he's only 34 years old and oh, his resume is short. I was like, give me a break. Like, I mean, let's face it. You can be like 17 or 18 years old and be the CEO of like multi-billion-dollar startups. And it's not really a big deal. Like everybody's like, oh, he doesn't have the experience. It's like, okay, screw you and your, I don't know, like insistence on quote unquote experience. It's like in the era of ChatGPT and AI, experience doesn't mean anything. You, as in someone who maybe doesn't have like decades of experience in some, chosen domain, you have the same amount of experience as, a senior member, in that sector, just because of AI. I don't think we should ever forget that as Gen Z tech people. Yeah, so that's sort of my take on that. Okay, so I guess this is an opinion article, so I don't really want to take too much signal from this, but yeah, so there's that. The New York Times, a big win. Okay, so this is slightly shifting gears to an election in, I guess, California. They passed Prop 50, which I guess gave Gavin Newsom more power. I guess they can opt to not outright fire people on a committee in California, but they can basically freeze them, so they can. Yeah, I guess I have to double check exactly what Prop 50 does. In fact, maybe we can read. At a time when Democrats have been searching for a win against President Trump, Governor Gavin Newsom of California gave them one. California voters on Tuesday overwhelmingly supported Prop 50, Mr. Newsom's measure to create more Democratic congressional seats. Okay, so yeah, that's sort of what it's about. It has a few other things. That's sort of what I was talking about. Not outright firing people, but you can sort of freeze their position. I read that on ChatGPT, but anyways, countering a similar redistricting effort pushed by Mr. Trump and other states to protect Republican control of the House next year. Yeah. I thought what was interesting about this article here is that later on, one of his aides, one of his Gavin Newsom's confidants, Eric J., he said something like this. He said, with the Proposition 50 victory, Newsom has made himself Donald Trump's chief and most successful antagonist, and that is exactly what the Democratic primary voters are looking for nationally. So, so this guy, he's a Democratic consultant in San Francisco, and so he's like an advisor. But anyways, this is the New York Times telling us, okay, the Democratic presidential nominee for 2028 is going to be Gavin Newsom, without them actually saying it, and without Newsom actually saying it. And I don't know why Newsom is so coy about this. Just come out and say it's okay. It ain't that deep. But he's, no, you guys are really afraid of. You guys have California derangement syndrome. You guys have whatever. It's okay. Anyways. All right, moving on. The stock market was slightly down today. Let's read this article from Yahoo Finance. Stock market today: Dow, S&P 500, Nasdaq slide as tech hit on AI valuation fears. Bitcoin dips below 100K. It seems to me just before we start this article, a few days ago, Palantir did really well, both in terms of their how much revenue they made this quarter and their expected growth for next quarter. And their stock jumped on that, and then it went back down quite a bit. I think people are just taking profit, to be honest, but I don't know. We'll see. U.S. stocks tumbled on Tuesday as Dow, and I'm using Palantir as a canonical example for tech stocks in that little example. U.S. stocks tumbled on Tuesday as doubts about high-running AI valuations preyed on investors, sifting through the latest flurry of quarterly earnings, who received a fresh warning from top CEOs. I forgot the light. There we go. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite led losses, sliding over 2%. The benchmark S&P 500 lost about 1.2%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which includes fewer tech stocks, dipped by about 0.5%. Apparently crypto isn't doing too well. Altcoins aren't doing well at all. And then Bitcoin looks like fell down. It briefly fell to below 100K, but then it bounced back up. But so I'm actually kind of curious, what is Bitcoin at right now? Okay, so it's at 102. Yeah, so it's kind of low. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's move on to some TechCrunch articles that I saw. I have 3 for you here, and then we'll transition to Byte AI. So the first one I have here is Rivian creates another spin-off company called Mind Robotics. The new effort will be focused around industrial AI to reshape how the physical world businesses operate and leverage Rivian operations data as the foundation for a robotics data flywheel. Yeah, so you know what? This is telling me that they're following Tesla. Tesla's next plan for their next 10 years or so is not really electric vehicles. It's autonomous vehicles and humanoid robots. So with the Cybercab, the Robovin, and the Optimus humanoid robot. And now we see Rivian, who is kind of a spinoff, a less successful spinoff. They were kind of puppeted around by the Biden administration a few years ago. Yeah, so it looks like Rivian is following Tesla now by going into robotics with their little Mind Robotics company. Well, good luck, I guess. So there's that. Rivian kind of reminds me of Nikola, which was another spin-off company in 2020, 2021 with Trevor Milton. Yeah. Nikola was pretty bad. It was outright fraud. It was basically their hydrogen semi trucks were being pushed down a slope in order to make it look like it had self-propulsion, but there was no self-propulsion. So I'm not saying Rivian is doing that kind of fraud, but I'm just saying okay, it's just another one of these spin-off Tesla competitors. Yeah. So that's my take on this article. Okay, let's move on to Amazon sends legal threats to Perplexity over agentic browsing. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So apparently Perplexity's agentic browser has been buying stuff on Amazon on behalf of users, and it goes against Amazon's terms of service by not identifying itself as an agent, apparently. And I guess so. Perplexity has released this quote here, this statement. This week, Perplexity received an aggressive legal threat from Amazon demanding we prohibit comment users from using their AI assistants on Amazon. This is Amazon's first legal salvo against an AI company, and it is a threat to all internet users. Okay, side note, who uses the word internet anymore? That's retro 2000s boomer lingo. No offense to boomers. But yeah, anyways, so Perplexity's argument is that since its agent is acting on behalf of human users' direction, the agent automatically has the same permissions as the human user. The implication is that it doesn't have to identify itself as an agent. So I guess Perplexity doesn't want to identify itself as an agent, maybe because of the cost or something. Amazon says this: we think it's fairly straightforward that third-party applications that offer to make purchases on behalf of customers from other businesses should operate openly and respect service provider decisions whether or not to participate. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. There's a little catfight between Amazon and Perplexity. Okay. Okay, final article. TechCrunch. Trump flips and renominates Jared Isaacman to lead NASA. Now, I was very surprised to see this. In fact, I'm going to switch over to sort of President Trump's Truth Social post on this, and then I'll provide my commentary. Sean Duffy has done an incredible job as interim administrator of the National Aeronautics. Okay, so NASA. This evening, I am pleased to nominate Jared Isaacman, an accomplished business leader, philanthropist, pilot, and astronaut, as administrator of NASA. Jared's passion for space, astronaut experience, and dedication to pushing the boundaries of exploration unlocking the mysteries of the universe and advancing the new space economy make him ideally suited to lead NASA in a bold new era. Congratulations to Jared, his wife Monica, and their children Mila and Liv. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DGT. Yeah, so this is interesting because this is pretty much the reason why Elon Musk left Doge and the government. Now, he was already going to leave. His special employee status was only like 60 days or something like that. So he's already going to leave, but this is kind of the reason why he kind of sort of got pushed out / wanted to leave himself kind of earlier than expected. It was because of Jared Isaacman. So apparently Jared Isaacman, he has voted for sort of the he's both voted and financially supported the Democrats through donations, and President Trump didn't like that and vetoed him back in June. But Elon actually really likes Jared Isaacman. Apparently they're good buddies, and apparently Jared Isaacman sort of heading NASA would be very favorable towards SpaceX. And of course, SpaceX is trying to get people on Mars, and they're trying to basically advance their Starship project. It's doing very well. I have to double check the numbers, but they sent like a ton of payload into space on behalf of clients just this past year. So there's that. So TechCrunch, or Sean O'Kane from TechCrunch says, on Tuesday, President Donald Trump announced his social media platform Truth Social that he's renominating Shift4 founder Jared Isaacman to lead NASA, the nation's space agency, months after withdrawing the nomination. Yeah, and it was because apparently Jared Isaacman was a staunch Democrat. And it's like, okay, well, whatever, right? If Elon has supported him, then I think President Trump should have just gone ahead with it. But it seems like he came around by renominating Jared Isaacman. I mean, it's too bad that Elon had to leave, but what are you going to do? Okay. So I think that's it for what we got here today. Let's go ahead and switch to Byte AI. Byte AI is a news aggregator. It also aggregates technical signals so you can make more informed decisions when balancing your portfolio every morning. You should download Byte AI. Of course, it's not a financial advisor, and past success does not guarantee future results. But it's a great tool. I use it every morning, and you can download it on iOS or just go onto the web app like so. If you visit byteai.me, so that's BYTEAI.me. Okay, so let's go into Microsoft because it seems like it's overbought. Okay. Analysis overbought. RSI 65.53 signaling strongly overbought condition. The price sits near the upper Bollinger Band with a very narrow bandwidth, suggesting limited upside and higher risk of mean reversion. MACD remains close to the signal line, offering only modest bullish momentum. Recent action shows a down day, negative 0.52%, and a negative weekly / monthly momentum, and negative, which is consistent with a potential near-term pullback after an overextended rally. New sentiment is mildly positive, reinforcing a steady but not accelerating uptrend. Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go ahead and sell on that then, given that it's overbought. Okay. How much do I got here? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So let me, I'm going to sell $200 because I had 391 in there. All right. All right. And reminder, this is not financial advice. This part of the show is just entertainment, me buying on Robinhood. And you should make your own decisions. Okay, cool. So everything else is neutral. So I don't know how much value we get into just like analyzing all this stuff. I mean, it's just going to talk about mixed signals. I get the most personally, and this is just me being brutally honest. I get the most value from basically when the stock labels are either overbought or underbought, because then I can do some action on that. When they're neutral, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing really actionable for me. Yeah, and so it changes like every hour, because the RSI, Bollinger Bands, other technical indicators also change every hour. There are new news articles, so you can definitely use this to day trade as well. But yeah, okay, I think we can leave it there. Cool. Make sure to download Byte AI, as I said earlier, BYTE AI.me. And hope you guys make a ton of money today in the stock market. Okay, I think we're going to end it there. Have a great day. Bye-bye.